Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am the Grand Cat and today we are looking at the 4th Division Commander of the Whitebeard Pirates. We're talking about Thatch. Now normally we would go from the 1st Division Commander, Marco, the 2nd Division Commander, Portuguese the Ace, and then the 3rd Division Commander, Jozu. However, unfortunately, the seller that had all the A+ studios for us unfortunately sold Jozu, Blamenco, and Atmos before we managed to get hold of them. So we do have the rest of the Whitebeard and, well, his division commanders at least. And that seller, who is also a huge fan of WCFs and the One Piece figurines, he is going to try and get a Blamenco, Jozu, and Atmos for us at some point later. So those might be coming some point in the distant future. Now you can see that this is a 2-pack that comes with both Thatch and King Dew, but we'll be looking at King Dew a little bit later on. Today, we're exclusively going to be looking at Thatch. Now, he is the 4th Division Commander. He was also a culinary chef, and the weapon that he uses is a 3-foot-long chef's blade. And he was killed before the series actually started, and the reason he was killed was because Teach, Marshall D. Teach, was on the same ship as Thatch, and when Thatch came across the Yami Yami no Mi, the darkness fruit, that is when Blackbeard set his plan into motion, and he went from being a happy-go-lucky member of Whitebeard's crew to deciding, alright, now is the time to enact my plan. And he had to take out Teach, or take out Thatch, and then get the darkness fruit. Now, there's an interesting thing. Marshall D. Teach is Blackbeard in the One Piece storyline. However, the real Blackbeard, the one in Historic, he had 3 names. He was called Edward Teach, but he also went by the name Thatch. So if you take Thatch from this character here, you take Marshall D. Teach, who is Blackbeard, and you take Edward Newgate, who is Whitebeard. If you put those 3 names together, you get the actual name of the actual Blackbeard. And these are some really low numbers. This is amazing. We have number 6 of both King Dew and Thatch. That is very, very cool. Those are A+ studios, of course. So this is going to be the A+ studio version of Thatch. Now we'll be opening this again later on to see King Dew, but what we're looking at today is going to be Thatch, who is over on this side. Because King Dew is a later division commander. We're going to try and go through them in order, if we can. And there is Thatch. This is really cool. I'm not sure if there's a WCF figure of Thatch or not. Someone will have to let me know in the comment section below. If there is, I'm not aware of him, and I don't have him. And there we are. There is Thatch's weapon. And the other cool thing is that these are magnetized, so they do perfectly click in. And yes, I have to make sure that this is the correct stand for Thatch, because King Dew is going to be visited later on. So he's going to just come away for just now, and we'll be revisiting King Dew a little bit later on. So here is Thatch. There is the one that was the captain of Marshall D. Teach. Marshall D. Teach was also a 4th Division commander of the Whitebeard Pirates, and there he is. Now, as said, folks, these are second-hand figures, so there's a little bit of dust on the base, but that's easy enough to clean off. But there he is, the very rare and elusive 4th commander of the Whitebeard Pirates. This is number 6, the 6th ever one ever made, which is, I think, the lowest number we've ever had of A+ studios of Thatch, which is really, really very, very cool. Now, let's do a quick size comparison with Thatch to see how he stands up to your regular WCFs. We are going to go ahead and use Van Auger for today. And you can see that Thatch is around about the same height as your regular WCFs. Maybe just a little bit taller, but not by much. Certainly not to the extent that Doflamingo or Crocodile or the others were. Let's bring in Marco, so you can see the size difference between the second and the fourth and the first division commander, sorry. And there you can see the two of them side by side there as well. Now the fact that Thatch is a chef makes me wonder if perhaps on Whitebeard's initial crew, before he, had 18 divisions, if Thatch was maybe Whitebeard's chef, and if Marco was maybe Whitebeard's ship's doctor. But that is just speculation. There's nothing to realistically back that up. It's just I like to think it would be cool if we got some backstory on Whitebeard when he was starting out, after he leaves the Rocks Pirates under the guise of Rox Dizabek, who Whitebeard was the second in command of. And yeah, if we get to see some of the people that have been with Whitebeard since essentially near enough the beginning, because I think that Thatch is probably one of the few that's probably been in there. I think possibly Jozu. I think Jozu and Marco might have been the equivalent of Sanjay and Zoro on Luffy's crew. And maybe by the end of the series, if Luffy survives into, the old age, that Sanjay and Zoro and Nami and such will all have their own crews, and they'll be division commanders of the, the Straw Hat Grand Fleet as well. But that's just speculation, folks. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But with that said, that is going to be it for this little video. And I really hope that you've all enjoyed. And if you did enjoy it, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure you click that notification icon so that you can see when more of these glorious little videos go out. Because the next video, we're going to see the other 4th Division member of the Whitebeard Pirates that we have. And I am, of course, talking about Marshall D. Teach, the one who took care of Thatch. So that's going to be it for this video. We shall see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.